Okay, I'd like to call the Village of Ashwaubenon Plan Commission meeting to order for Tuesday, May 3rd. Roll call, please.
Mayor Kadowski,
Here.
Steve Kabacki,
Here.
Gary Paul,
Here.
Corey Campbell,
Here.
and Skippington, Krieger, and Allen are excused.
Okay, please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember our men and women in uniform throughout the world. I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Move to approve as presented. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, action on the minutes from the regular meeting of April 12th, 2022. I'll move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda, must state your name and address. You are limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel items cannot be discussed nor individuals named, and the board is not able to take action at this meeting. Is there any members of the public, either on virtual or in audience, that would like to speak on an item not on the agenda? Any items not on the agenda for comment? Hearing none, we will move on. Number 7, action items. A, action regarding a conditional use permit request to exceed 60 feet maximum height, parcel VA-54-1, 710 Mike McCarthy Way, Coachway Condominiums. Aaron.
Right. Engberg Anderson and Associates has submitted a request for a conditional use permit for height, and I'll bring that up on screen here in just a second. Under the village code, there are 3 distinct height zones within the village. You can see this gray area is a 36-foot height maximum. Those are primarily residential areas. And then in other commercial, industrial areas, we have these 2 different colored zones. The orange zone is a 60-foot maximum height, and the blue zone is a 120-foot maximum height. Under the code, there is an available option for people who look to exceed the height limit through a conditional use permit process. For purposes of the proposed 12-story coachway condominiums, Engberg Anderson, along with developer Philip Barson of Barson Corp., have requested a conditional use permit up to 140 feet for purposes of their new condominium tower. I'll show a picture of that in just a minute. In terms of the site, you can see here, this actually is Holmgren Way right here. This is Mike McCarthy Way. The proposed site is right here. It's this orange corner, immediately adjacent to the 120-foot blue zone to the east. So it's not located in a location surrounded by other orange areas. It is adjacent to the 120-foot height zone as well. In terms of the building proposed, here's a rendering of the 12-story building requested for the 140-foot height. In terms of staff, what we have done, one recommended staff condition of approval for the conditional use permit is expiration of the conditional use permit within 48 months of approval, unless an occupancy permit is issued by the Village of Ashwaubenon for the building. Thinking through that, all I want to do is put some limitations just in case any future project would occur in the property in the event this project wouldn't happen for whatever reason, anticipating a 2-year pre-sale period and then a 48-month, or I'm sorry, a 24-month or 2-year build-out period. That's what came up with the 48 months, provide more than adequate time to hopefully see this project come to fruition. At Site Plan Review Committee, they did recommend approval with that condition, as well as they included the condition to basically package the conditional use permit with the site plan review. So the conditional use permit is conditioned on approval of the site plan when that comes forward. I should mention that the height has received FAA approval for its height and the airport. If you have any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, representatives of Engberg Anderson are online, and Philip Barsan and Mihai Schnell Harrison, representing the developer, are also in the audience.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments?
These condominiums are they one bedroom, two bedroom? Are they a mixture? What is the ratio and the layout?
I'll probably refer that over to, I guess, maybe Mariana. Would you be able to answer that question for us?
Hi, here Mariana Arena. Yes, we have a mix of units with 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms. And we have a couple, like a stack of floor, like it's 3 bedrooms. So it's like 81 units, and it's a mix of 1, 2, and 3.
81 units? 1, 2, and
Yes.
3? Okay.
Do you have any more specifics on it, like exactly how many 1 bedrooms or half 1 bedrooms or?
Yeah, I can tell you in a minute.
On page 20, it tells you the 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom combinations on each floor.
So we have a total of 35 1 bedrooms, 31 2 bedrooms, and 13 3 bedrooms. Each floor have around 8 to 9 units. And for example, a typical floor that have 8 units have 3 1 bedroom, 3 2 bedrooms, and 2 3 bedrooms.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay,
Were there any concerns by the Packers of looking over practice fields or anything like that?
Nothing's been relayed to us yet. In terms of looking at the, if you take a look at the site with the Hudson Center, typically their closed practices are held on Hinkle Field.
Uh-huh.
So we don't think that'll be an issue. We have not heard any concerns from the Packers at this time.
Okay.
That was brought up at the site plan meeting this afternoon. Dan Pampern brought it up, comparing heights to the total height of the Packers, including the light post, and it would be a little below the total height of the Packer Stadium, like I said, with the light post. We figured there's about a 40-foot drop from the Packer stadium itself down to the elevation that they're looking at. So it passed site plan quite nicely, I thought. Good questions were brought up. It's a nice project. You can't, we haven't seen it at site plan yet, but the renderings they gave us, I think it's a very nice project. The height is the issue. Naturally, it's a little below our recommendations, but coming here, I didn't have a problem approving it at site plan, and I don't have a problem approving it at this level neither.
What were some of the other issues that might have been brought up, Gary, at site plan?
Well, Mary brought up, she went back to, was it Mary, 06, 07, we went through this height restrictions. And a lot of the reasons were if something would happen, we didn't want it in certain areas. And that was brought up about where it's placed. We didn't think it'd be any problem with that particular height. Other than that, the height equal to other things in the village, that was the main item. And then naturally where it's positioned at and why it's at that place. So we haven't, like I said, the rendering is the only thing we've seen so far.
yeah, I said, you know, sitting through all of those meetings for the height committee, the residents were very concerned, but this doesn't border up to any residential areas, so.
Was that when we were discussing the game day condos?
Yep,
Oh, my God.
Steve, I think you were around here when Czech proposed a 16-story or something over on the corner here. You remember that?
I'm gonna be
Where
like,
Bohemian is, the apartment homes?
I'm gonna be like Marjorie Taylor, whatever her name was. I don't recall.
Yeah, that was presented a number of years ago.
No, I remember some of that vaguely.
Vaguely.
okay,
There might be a
so
rendering around here yet someplace.
if there are no further discussions, I'll make a motion to approve the CUP with approval of the site plan for this project and with staff conditions, which is the 48 months.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Are there any more discussion, concerns, questions?
It's a nice looking layout and that type of thing. It looks real modern, and in that area of the community, it probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like,
You know,
Told-
with what we've been doing in that area, I think it's a benefit to the area to bring something of that magnitude into that area. There's plenty of room to do stuff like that yet. There's a lot of wrinkled tin there that's got to come down before something can go up. They're going on a vacant lot, which is simpler than some of the buildings that would have to go. But I think in the future, it'll bring other
No,
nice
it's-
projects.
I agree with you, and I agree with your statements. We'll have to record that again. No, it makes sense, I think, yeah.
okay, any more discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
This will go to a public hearing at the village board meeting at the end of the month.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, 7B, action regarding proposed pedestrian accommodations text amendment to section 17-2-200, site plan approval requirements. Aaron?
Okay, this is a request that came out of the Bike and Ped Committee to put some language into our site plan review ordinance that would allow for staff and the site plan review committee to have additional tools in the toolbox, per se, to require pedestrian and bicycle accommodations on, as site plans come forward. So as you can see, it's a relatively short amendment, and it would show those pedestrian accommodations as applicable to facilitate safe passage for pedestrians and or bicyclists among proposed buildings and to proposed buildings from public rights-of-way. So again, this would be a text amendment to the site plan review ordinance, section 17-2-200. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, Tracy Fluke is also in the audience from Bike and Ped.
Okay, does anybody have any questions or comments? This also was at site plan earlier today and passed with a unanimous vote.
So basically, that's inserted in the context of that portion of the code,
Correct.
and it relates to site plan review?
Yep, that's right.
Okay.
That'll come in front of the board, won't it?
Yes, it will.
I made all my comments at the site plan. It's a copy of the ordinance we did for the new developments. Guess the Bike and Ped want to get more control of what happens here in the village as far as sidewalks, walkways, grades of walkways, whatever. So,
Okay. Any,
I will make a motion, I will make a motion. If anybody doesn't have any other questions, I'll make a motion to approve the text amendment to section 17-200, site plan approval requirements for pedestrian accommodations.
I will second that.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the pedestrian accommodations text amendment. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
You're opposed?
No, aye.
Oh,
Or-
you're an aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Not a nay, an aye. A delayed aye.
You're a delayed aye, okay. It passed unanimously. Okay, number 8, items for next agenda. Do we have items?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Plan on being here at the beginning of June. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.